So last week we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, a super exciting milestone for us. So to celebrate, we allowed you to ask whatever questions you wanted, and we're going to answer some of those questions now. I started TLDR News because I spotted a gap in the market. I wanted content that simply explained important political issues in a way that was easy to understand and enjoyable to watch. I looked on YouTube, I looked on Facebook, I looked across all the platforms, and I just didn't really find anything. So I thought, if no one else is doing it, why shouldn't I? So I started TLDR News then, and it's kind of snowballed from there. TLDR stands for Too Long Didn't Read. It's reasonably common internet slang for something that's really complicated and too long and you can't be bothered even going close to it. So TLDR News is meant to tackle that issue in the news. Often news stories are really long, really cumbersome, and if you're coming in halfway through, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. TLDR News aims to make things simpler and it gets straight to the point. So instead of it being TLDR, our news is much easier to understand and to consume. A lot of people seemed really interested in what I look like, and I guess I don't need to answer that question anymore because here I am. Not really sure why everyone cared about that quite so much, but here you go. I'm originally from Sussex, which if you're not from the UK is kind of just south of London, between London and Brighton if you know those kind of two places. That's where I grew up, and then I moved to go to university, and then I'm living somewhere else now. I'd absolutely love to live in another country, whether that be because of Brexit or whatever other reason. And I wouldn't even just limit that to EU countries. Who knows where I could live in the future? I'm absolutely open to moving and doing whatever. I feel like I'm kind of pitching myself here for other countries. So if you want a TLDR your country, maybe fly me out and pay all my expenses. I guess I just prioritise it really highly. As I mentioned before, I have a full-time job which kind of keeps me busy for most of the day, and then I get home about 5:30, 6 most evenings, and then it's just a matter of putting this as my priority. TLDR is where I spend most of my time in the evenings and the weekends, and that's just what I'm doing. I also don't sleep that much, so that helps too, I guess. There's 5 core people that work with TLDR, although technically no one works for TLDR News, no one's employed by them, and nobody actually gets any money from it, even myself. So the people who work for TLDR News are me, obviously. I created the channel, I record all the audio, I edit the videos, I animate the videos, I upload them, I do all of our social posts. And generally, if you're communicating with someone to do with TLDR, it's probably me that's messaging you. Then you've got the guys who write some of the scripts for me. That's Zach, Ben, and Ollie. Those guys all have specialties in specific areas of politics, but they're all currently students studying things, either politics itself or things kind of related to that. So those guys have a lot of knowledge and expertise that I don't necessarily have. So that makes it way easier for me if I can just lean on their skills and let them contribute to TLDR. I'm still involved with the scripting and researching, but probably about 75% of videos will come from one of those 3. And then finally you've got Ross, who helps me with camera work when we're filming stuff like this, and also who created the TLDR News website. Well, as I just mentioned, we have a small team of people who work on TLDR. None of them are paid, they're all voluntary, at least for the moment. So if you are interested in joining, please keep that in mind. It's an entirely kind of voluntary, teamwork kind of based thing. But if you are still interested in helping TLDR out, whether that be with script writing and researching, or with animation, or whatever your skills are, then please let us know. The best way for you to do that isn't in the comments or messaging us through Facebook or Instagram, because we get so many messages there it's kind of hard to keep track. So instead, the best thing for you to do is email us. The email address you should reach out to is hello@tldrnews.co.uk, making sure to use the subject line Team TLDR. When I ask for a specific subject line, it's not just because I'm being difficult, it's because that's how I search for your messages. So if you don't use the subject line Team TLDR, I probably will miss it. Don't worry about putting anything specific in that email, just let me know that you're interested, and then I'll reach out to you and we can have a conversation about how you might want to get involved. What? You knew I had this rather fetching embroidered TLDR News jumper before I even made this video? How could you possibly know? Well, if you did want to get your hands on one, then there's only 2 ways of doing it. Firstly, become a member of the TLDR News team. All of our team members get exclusive merch just for them, and also top tier Patreon backers can get their hands on them. So if you do want that surprisingly blue jumper, it looked way less blue in the catalogue. then consider backing us at the top level on Patreon or joining the team. If you're not interested in that specifically, but you do want to get your hands on exclusive merch, the same rules apply. We'll be making new exclusive merch every quarter or so. And if that sounds like way too much effort, then you can also just go to the TLDR News store. We have some merch available there now. It's only really opinionated related stuff, but in the future we plan on expanding that way more, and don't worry, we'll let you know when that happens. For those of you who don't know, Opinionated is our series where we tackle some more controversial topics. And we made the first episode about a second referendum about a month back. As part of that series, we asked you all to fill out a survey to let us know what you think about those issues before we make the videos. If you want to contribute to that, and if you want to help us make the series, there's a link in the description to the Opinionated survey, and if you fill it out, when we put the next video out, we'll give you a discount code for the TLDR merch store. So make sure to fill that out so you can get yourself a discount. So when's that next video coming out? It's probably going to be sometime in April. I'm not going to commit to a specific date yet, but we're currently working through some of the data and we should be ready sometime around April. I did go to university. I went to Loughborough University and I studied computer science and business, which might seem a bit weird for someone running a politics YouTube channel, but I guess the business half of my degree comes into play with actually running this thing. It's far more than just the research and the videos. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on. And the computer science half of things, well, I guess like all this digital media stuff kind of plays into that quite nicely too. So my knowledge in those areas, plus all the stuff I've learned in politics along the way, really helped me start this channel. And now I have all of the politics expertise that comes from the rest of the team, so I feel like we're pretty well balanced as a group. We are going to Estonia, and in fact that's why we bought all of this equipment. There's even more over there, and there's more coming on Amazon fairly soon. So we're absolutely invested in making more kind of real life videos, including when we make our trip over to Estonia. For those of you who might be thinking now, why are you going to Estonia? There's a video we made about it a few months back, so that should give you some kind of hint. The link to the Estonia video is also in our description, and hopefully from that you'll be able to make a better guess as to why we're headed over there next week. If you do want to follow along with our Estonia adventure, we're going to be putting lots of photos and videos on our Instagram. Not on the normal TLDR News Instagram, because unsurprisingly that focuses on news, but instead on the Team TLDR Instagram, where we post behind the scenes information and stuff beyond the news. So if you want to follow along with that, make sure to follow the Instagram. Again, there's a link for that in the description too. Is that a thing that people do? Like, does anyone want to meet a person behind a news channel? I guess if you do, then maybe that's something we could do in the future, some kind of event. But for now, if you're going to VidCon in London this weekend, in fact, today is Friday, so today, Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be at VidCon. YouTube invited me and gave me a free ticket, so I thought, why not go? So if you are interested in meeting me, and you're going to be there anyway, then just keep a lookout for me. I'm not doing anything specific because I'm not that important, but I will be there, and I will have TLDR new stickers, just like this one here. So if you don't want to get your hands on one of those, then just come and say hi, and I'll give you one. Unless it turns out more people come than I expect, and then I might not have enough. Also, why do you want to meet me? Like, what a waste of time. It's not that fun. Like, stay at home. Tickets are expensive. And it's cold outside. Don't come. Unless you're already going. Loads of people seem really concerned about what's going to happen to this channel after Brexit, and although we've been focusing a lot on Brexit recently, that's just because it's been the thing that's most important in the UK. A lot of people seem really concerned about what we're going to do after Brexit, and my response is normally fairly similar to everyone who asks. No other news organisation is considering shutting its doors after Brexit. Sure, it's a big news story at the moment and it keeps people interested and there's a lot going on to talk about, but as soon as it's done there'll be something else that comes along. So whether that's something in the UK we're going to latch onto, or spreading further afield, we're still going to have tons of news to report. So when Brexit's over, don't worry, we're not finishing the channel. If anything, I feel like we're still just getting started. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, TLDR is already a registered company here in the UK. So everything is by the books and everything is official, which is fun and also a lot of paperwork. Wow, it's suddenly turned into an interview here. In 5 years' time, I'd love to see the channel far bigger than it is now, covering more platforms, offering more kinds of experiences for you guys beyond just videos. It would be great to have a group of people working on it full time as a proper business, rather than just me and some people who help me out very kindly. And in the shorter term, I think we should start working on different mediums, whether that be podcasts or books or anything else, live streams, whatever. We're planning on taking this far further than videos about Brexit containing countries with feet. I guess I could. I mean, legally I can, there's nothing stopping me. Whether I will, I'm not quite so sure. It's not necessarily something that I'm planning on doing right now. But yeah, never say never to that kind of thing. It would be an awesome experience, I guess. How unkeen I was for that is really going to come back to haunt me in the future if I do end up doing something like that though. I mean, I probably should re-record that. Yeah, I'd love to. Can't wait. It'll be amazing. It's always been my dream. I mean, that's a bit of a preemptive question. I hadn't answered anyone's question when you asked that. But if I haven't answered your question, there's probably two reasons for that. Firstly, maybe it was very specifically about Brexit. A lot of people asked me my opinions, what I thought was going to happen next, technicalities. They asked me all kinds of questions about Brexit. I always wanted this to be more of a celebration of TLDR, what we've done, what we're planning to do next. So I haven't answered any of your Brexit questions in this video. If you want me to answer your Brexit questions, then comment below to let me know, and maybe that's something we'll do in the future. The second reason I might not have answered your question is maybe it's in the Patreon exclusive video. I've answered a few extra questions exclusively for Patreon, and that's backers at any tier level, whether you're donating $1 a month or, I don't know, however much you want to donate. So if you're a Patreon backer, head over to Patreon now to check that video out, and if you're not, maybe consider donating $1 a month to gain access. If you're interested, the questions I answer include As always, thank you so much for watching. It's so exciting that we got to 100,000 subscribers recently, and it's so exciting that you care enough to actually watch this kind of video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.